The pandemic, the cost of living crisis, natural disasters bringing communities to their knees. The last few years have been tough, especially for young Australians.
We know that suicide is the leading cause of death for young people. And we also know that we've gone through a pandemic where a number of the necessary health measures that were taken fell disproportionately on young people.
Now, the New South Wales government is calling on parents to form what's thought to be the world's biggest suicide prevention program. From mid-November, 200,000 parents will be offered free online suicide prevention training to recognise signs someone may be thinking about suicide, give them the tools to intervene and refer them for more help.
In as little as an hour and a half, people can become far more confident to know that actually, yeah, it's my role, not just reaching out and making sure people are okay, but actually starting conversations about suicide and helping people to keep safe from those suicide thoughts.
Last year, more than 400 young Aussies died by suicide. Nearly 2 in 5 people aged 16 to 24 had a mental health condition, and 1 in 5 aged 16 to 34 experienced high or very high levels of psychological distress as a result of the pandemic, a rate far higher than in older Aussies.
We are worried about that. Following a crisis or natural disaster, it can be 2 to 3 years after that we see a potential increase in the number of deaths by suicide. And that's often because that's when the supports drop off.
These are conversations that can start at home, and that really starts with parents for young people.
The $14 million program will also train an extra 75,000 people, including teachers, carers and Aboriginal community leaders, all called on to help young Australians survive and thrive through tough times.
People who get training will actually be the signpost. That means that young people or people of any age who are struggling will be able to find out what are the resources and what are the services that I can connect to, and how do I keep myself safe when I'm going through the darkest of times.
Well, John Brogden is the former head of Lifeline, also previously the New South Wales opposition leader. He's been open about his own struggles in the past as well. John, how in your mind do parents hold the key to preventing suicide?
Well, when you stop and think about it, children spend most of their lives at home. There's time at school, there's time out, but really, 2 meals a day and overnight they're at home. So the capacity to interact with their parents and their parents to interact with them about mental health issues is really important. The other thing is, really nobody knows their kids better than their parents do, for better and for worse. And I'll tell you what I think is most significant. Most parents just don't know how to start a conversation about suicidality, about people harming themselves, about their children having mental illness, depression, anxiety. They don't know how to start the conversation. So I think this training is going to be absolutely superb in allowing parents to open up the door to that conversation with their children.
As you know, though, John, teenagers can be particularly good at hiding their emotions, spending a lot of time on their devices. Do you think parents know just how hard the past couple of years have been on them?
Yes, look, I think they do, Lisa. I think there's no doubt parents have seen that. They've seen their kids close their doors, get on their devices, put their headphones on and disappear. They've seen their kids go through some very dark moods, whether it's the lack of social interaction or intellectual interaction. Kids have suffered. We've seen an unprecedented increase in presentations to emergency departments during COVID of kids who are self-harming. So I'm hoping what this program does is give parents the skills to get through the door, through the devices, get their headphones off and have that conversation. The words are just so important. What to ask and what not to ask are so important. And Lisa, you made the very good point that kids, teenagers can be very good at hiding how they're really feeling. One of the things these sorts of courses do is they help parents use the right words to break through those barriers.
John, some parents might worry that speaking more openly about suicide and depression could actually plant an idea in the child's head. In your experience, should that be a genuine worry?
I absolutely understand why people would think the last conversation I can have with my troubled teenager would include the word suicide. The risk is I'll put that thought in their mind. But do you know what's interesting? All of our research and all of our practice shows by using that word, by asking that direct question, do you want to hurt yourself? Do you want to kill yourself? By asking that direct question, it sort of cuts through all of the crap. It cuts through all of the stuff that all of the niceties of life. You know, let's go to the movies, why don't we buy some clothes, why don't we go and see the family and friends. Really, there comes a point in a person's life where you've just got to cut through it completely, and using those words will in fact drag out the conversation. So as much as I used to think, God, that's the last thing you can possibly say to anybody, the reverse applies, and that's all of our research, all of our practice shows. Having that blunt and direct conversation is the one that makes the difference.
John, really appreciate your insights tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And of course, if you find yourself in need of help, crisis support is always available through Lifeline on 13 11 14, as well as the Kids Helpline. The number for that is 1800 55 1800.